Hey everybody, welcome once again to the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein. Tonight we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw for June 26th, 2017. Joining me as always, Mr. Raj Giri, and back with us tonight, Mr. Matt Morgan. How's it going, Matt?
Doing great, guys. Glad to be back.
Yeah, what'd you think of Raw tonight?
It was good. It has some good parts to it as usual. Had more better parts to it tonight, I thought, than normal.
Yeah.
You know? But had some really, obviously, we'll get to it, but maybe the worst segment in the history of Raw.
Oh, wow. Bold statement. Well, I look forward to covering that. Raj, what'd you think tonight? Did this feel to you like this was sort of the half go-home show for Great Balls of Fire, since next week viewership will probably take a bit of a dip?
Yeah. I thought it was a good episode. Like what Matt said. Yeah, that segment, the Lavar Ball segment, was god awful. But it happened early enough that it was forgotten by the main event. So I thought the main event was really good. I thought that made up for the show. I thought the Lesnar stuff was great. And so, yeah, I thought it was a good show overall. Again, I think it would have been really good if it was 2 hours and you cut out a lot of the filler. But it was a good show.
Yeah.
For what it's been.
So starting tonight with Roman Reigns coming to the ring, addressing Samoa Joe, putting him in the coquina clutch last week, but of course interrupted by Braun Strowman setting up their ambulance match at Great Balls of Fire. So Matt, how's your anticipation for this with how they've been booking Roman in this build-up?
For Roman Reigns?
Yeah, Roman and Braun, the rematch.
You know what? They've done a good job. Like, it shows you the value of Roman Reigns because he's getting people over. He got Samoa Joe over big time last week, and he's getting Braun over every single time. Because we look at him as Superman, and he's on the sell a lot lately, and I think it's good for him, and it's really good for their company. It's making other stars. He's actually making other stars, which is really saying something for how young he is. You know what I mean? I know he's been there for a minute, but to do what he's doing right now is pretty damn impressive. Anything Braun does, I'm a fan of generally, as long as they make him look big and strong. His job is pretty easy. Yeah,
it definitely feels like Roman has taken Braun to another level. Like Braun was, kind of getting to the top, but not anywhere near it earlier this year. And now he's a legit top guy. And Roman deserves all the credit in the world for helping making that happen. And Braun, he's hit it out of the park. So, it's been great. I love the build of this feud. I'm a little nervous that Roman keeps getting his ass kicked. He lost last week. He got destroyed again this week. That it's leading to... Yeah, exactly. Because... Vince doesn't. That's what happened the first time Roman and Braun met. Braun was destroying him every time, and then Roman beat him at the pay-per-view. So we'll see.
Braun didn't beat him.
He beat him the last time. So the first time they faced off, Roman beat him, and then at the rematch they had, Braun beat him. So this is kind of the rubber match. But
Braun has to win.
I would think so. I mean, unless they change their plans, the plan was for Braun and Brock, but if they decide to push up Roman and Brock, and then because Roman did issue that SummerSlam challenge, so
yeah, he did.
So you never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and he'll be here before we know it. Second match tonight, we had Elias Sampson come out and turn into a six-man tag match. Elias Sampson with Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Hardys and Finn Balor. So Elias and Finn, is this happening now? Is this actually the direction they're going in, Raj?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. I mean, they got no one else. Dean is still with the Miz. Who they got for Finn?
That's true.
So Bray Wyatt's tied up with Seth Rollins. So
I don't. How do you do that? How do you know Finn Balor's coming back from injury and you've got nothing for him?
Well, I think they had Bray for him, and then the Braun injury happened, and I don't know. It just kind of got all turned around because they teased that Bray feud.
Right, but that I don't care what happens. That kid does not get lost in this shuffle. That's the crap that happens to me. That's the crap that happens to other guys. It doesn't happen to Finn Balor, a main event talent and a future main eventer for many years to come. You have friggin' 3 plans. Bam, 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 set up for him for all backup case scenarios. That's how important I feel he is.
Yeah, I
thought they did too.
Yeah, and it felt like, even tonight, I know they were in LA, but it seemed like he got the biggest pop of the night.
I thought so. And I thought so. He just has a natural charisma to him that draws you to him. There's something about him. And it is not the tugging at the friggin' leather coat, I promise. The collar. It's just, you know what I mean? It's like Elias Sampson, great for him, right?
Yeah.
But what the freak? This is like what, you know, older school wrestlers that talk about this stuff and complain that you shouldn't really be having two young guys go against each other, right? Because neither get over. Like Finn versus Elias Sampson, what's going to happen for Finn? Nothing good happens for Finn out of this. Nothing good can come from it. He's not going to become more over. It's not. I don't even consider Elias Sampson, if it's a singles match, like a progressive step.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a huge step back. Even if he beats him in 10 seconds, I feel it's a big step back. This is our first Universal Heavyweight Champion. You know? Yeah,
and I think to that point, it hurts him because it just makes fans seem like he's down a notch. You know?
Yes.
So I totally agree.
Good match, though, by the way, Glenn. It was good, great six-man. Cesaro and Sheamus, man, are always on, you know, same with the Hardys.
It was good. It's just, you know, with the Hardys and Cesaro and Sheamus in there, it's just, again, It's been months and months and months.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, having Finn, and you know, spiced it up a little bit, but that was about it.
But speaking of trying to spice it up, what in the heck was up with having Josh Duhamel on commentary?
Randomly.
Like...
For like the whole time, you know, I would have thought they would have gotten rid of him at the commercial break, and he's like, "Oh, he's gonna be sore tomorrow, and that can't be legal." Booker T's like, "Yeah, it is." It's like, oh man,
that's the most awkward one in a while. I mean, at least Ashton Kutcher had some familiarity with the product. Ryan Phillippe had some familiarity with the product. Josh was like, "Nope, first WWE event," just kind of starting a movie with Sheamus.
Yeah, and it was clear it was his first.
Sheamus is in Transformers?
No, but they're doing something else. Weren't they teasing some other project?
Oh, very cool.
They're doing some WWE Studios movie next year.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. It's not looking that. It's about some kids. Sounds like some kids game that they do, but anyway,
it was just there
was that.
Tonight.
Yeah, do you guys remember that time that WWF back in the day after Hulk Hogan had left and Hogan went to WCW, and they had what was that guy's name? Art. He was like this football legend, and they had him on for commentary at King of the Ring.
Not Art Bar. Art. Oh, come on. Yes, of course I do.
And like Lex Luger came out, who they were pushing as the top star, and he's like, "Who's the fella in the American flag trunks?"
Yes.
It was. It wasn't that bad, but man, when they put these celebrities on commentary, you're asking for it if they're not familiar at all.
God dang it. Or, I forget who, but
what is his name? Anyway.
Fans, write in the answer to that, please.
Someone's Art Modell, no. Art Donovan, yes.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes. Thanks, BK.
Yeah, that was something else tonight. I don't know, man. With Finn, God, if it was Finn and The Miz, I mean, it seemed like they had Dean and Elias set up perfectly. I mean, that at least would be something worth watching. I don't know. I just don't see how this helps Finn in the long run.
It doesn't. Get it.
Yeah, man, Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Hardys. Just make it stop at this point. Do anything. Put some variation of that match again.
And the thanks to Tuckerundo in the comment section for that, Art Donovan as well.
Yeah. So, Raj, your prediction came true tonight on Goldust versus R-Truth. You know, delaying that match almost as if they have a big pay-per-view coming up and they don't want to waste it.
Yeah.
Matt, are you excited? Are you excited to see finally Goldust and R-Truth have their face-off?
I didn't. I kind of was, but I didn't understand the camera gimmick. The Goldust camera guy, why he was just allowed to chill in the ring with the camera.
I thought for sure he was going to use the camera.
Yeah, something was really
like that was like kind of a weak beatdown for what was supposed to be a vicious beatdown. That was kind of I was waiting for the camera to come in because I was like, this is pretty weak otherwise.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, that's I'm guessing that'll be at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, we'll see. I thought the hype was good tonight. I thought Goldust looked great coming to the ring. We'll see what they do.
Match, guys, the match can surprise you. I'm telling you, between those two, it could still surprise us as far as the match goes. As far as us caring, that's a whole other ballgame.
They just built it up a little too long for my taste. Maybe it's gone about 2 weeks too long. you know.
Yeah, but at least they did something this week, and it wasn't another, backstage, vignette. But I think Goldust, he could, he's showing some fire. I think he could be put back in that like Dean Ambrose level, like the IC title level.
He was really impressive at the new ECW. Do you remember that when he was working Sheamus?
Right, yeah.
He was so freaking impressive, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked good. I think WWE just always has this preconceived notion that he can't go because of his age, but he's in
better shape than most of the guys are. Yeah, he's better shape than most of half the roster is.
Absolutely. He can go better in the ring than Elias Sampson. So
you see how fast he hits the ropes and stuff? Like, dude, he runs like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's great shape.
So we had Miz TV tonight. And so we'll talk about that in a second there. But Raj, is it true what's happening with the Miz and Maurice now because of the Kanellis angle on SmackDown? That's why we're seeing the Miz to Raj.
I think that's just speculation. I don't think that's that they're breaking them up because they have a similar act on SmackDown.
Tough shit. No fucking way would they do that. No.
Exactly. That's kind of what it just seems like speculation to me. It doesn't seem
Who reported that? It needs to be smacked in their head.
It was Dave Meltzer. I don't know. Again, I don't think he was.
Dave Meltzer reported that?
Yeah, but I don't think he was saying it as a fact. I think he was saying it as that might be why they're doing it. And I think a lot of places took it as like that's why it was happening.
You're not going to lose. You finally got Miz on track. You just got him over from killing it on SmackDown. You bring him to Raw, had a slow start. You have him and Maurice now finally hitting their groove, and you want to break them apart because someone on their B show has a similar act. It's not even a similar act. And again, it's the B show. They ain't doing shit on Raw in conjunction or predicated off something that's happening on SmackDown. It ain't happening.
They didn't even bring him out for the segment last week on SmackDown with Mike and Maria Kanellis. It was a dark segment. So yeah, I think I think it's just
a bunch of but nothing.
Yeah, I mean Maurice might be leaving. I wouldn't be surprised if different. That's different. But I would bet if she is, it's probably her call. Like maybe she.
Right.
There's a ton of reasons why, but
she's been a great additive to him, right? She's been awesome for him.
She revamped his career. I mean, where he was before her and where he got after. I mean, he became one of the top heels after she was added by his side. So, yeah, I gotta think if they break him up, they're not that stupid that they would just do it for no reason.
Right.
Yeah.
So can we talk about the segment?
Yes, let's talk about the segment. How to describe what happened. Lavar Ball and LaMelo Ball came out, the Big Baller brand, and, chatted it up with The Miz. Got into it, discussed some things.
I didn't know any of these guys except for Lavar Ball. Yeah, I don't follow basketball. I know 3 basketball players. I know Steph Curry, LeBron James, and the other guy on the Wizards.
Durant.
No, Durant. You're right. Yeah, on the Warriors is what I meant. Yeah.
Here's the thing. That's my favorite sport. I watch that more than I watch wrestling.
Wow.
And the kid, their youngest is insanely talented. The little skinny kid that plays at Chino Hills in Los Angeles, and that's like a factory for high school stud basketball players. And anyways, LaMelo's his name. LaMelo Ball. He dropped like 92 points in a game, like they said. I think he doesn't look like much, but dude, he's like Steph Curry. He's got like a phenomenal touch. He could shoot the piss out of the ball from anywhere on the floor.
Wait, the little kid, not
yes,
the okay, not the one with the Lakers.
Right, he was good too, but I'm building it. That kid's going to be a stud. Mark my words. That kid's going to be a future first-round draft choice for sure, just like his brother. Anyway, so then his brother comes out, who's a stud for UCLA. Great basketball players. I was like, holy shit, this is a big get for WWE. This is like the who's who in the NBA draft. That was the number 1. He was the number 2 overall pick with the Lakers or whatever draft number he was, but he was the main talking point, because his dad's and this is where WWE completely swung and missed and do not know what the frick is going on in pop culture or sports. That dude is the most hated man in America. They hate him. Nobody likes that guy, their father. They hate him. He's an arrogant piece of trash, and he goes on like the NBA TNT shows and talks shit against like Charles Barkley and Shaq and tells them they don't know what they're talking about. He challenges them to fights. He's insane. He's insane. He gets interviewed at the draft, right? His son just gets drafted. It should be a huge moment. And he's wearing his Lakers hat, and the interviewer's like, "So big moment, your son just gets drafted." And he opens his mouth with his big smile, and his teeth are friggin' more yellow than his Laker hat was. It was disgusting. And then he goes, "I told you. I told y'all since birth he was going to be a Laker. That's what we're here to talk about, the big baller brand, not about no draft." I started talking about his brand and not answering any of the dude's questions. He was getting booed in the draft arena by all the fans. He gets booed everywhere he goes. So for WWE not to know that, thinking he was going to be some big baby face, and I was like, oh no, who's going to be the baby face? They're linking to this guy. They always do that. And I was like, oh, poor Ambrose. He could be able to dig himself out of this one. They did not know that guy was going to be a heel. And that's sad. Everybody knows that guy's a heel.
Yeah. So Chris in our Twitter, he had a good storyline idea where they should have had Titus trying to recruit one of the brothers.
I thought so later on in the show. Same thing.
Yeah. But Baron Corbin, so they posted a picture of the Ball guys. And Baron Corbin wrote, "Sweet, the guy who cost his son millions and millions of dollars." So what happened there? Like, how did he cost his son millions of dollars? Did he say something that ruined his draft position or anything like that?
He's considered he's got a huge mouth, and people don't want to touch him with a 10-foot pole usually, but yet they still kind of do. He's got the most expensive sneaker in the market. I believe costs something like $200 something bucks, $265 for a sneaker. That's an ugly ass sneaker.
Yeah.
I mean, he's making the kid money, but like he's branded his kid. His kid's at he's another kid. His kid's in high school, and like he whores them out really, really bad. And I don't know how he's cost them millions. If there's one incident, maybe I'm missing it, but he never shuts up. He's on ESPN every day with something new that he's saying and getting in trouble for. He's a bad, horrible father, horrible human being.
Jeez. Well, so this segment was terrible.
The worst.
And this is the WWE. Anytime they have these celebrities on, it's like they're detached from reality. Like the Miz really thinks he's gonna partner with LeVar Ball, right? Like, that's so stupid. Why not come up with something that's a little realistic? It's like when they had Rusev with Shawn Michaels, when Shawn Michaels had that movie that he did, and Rusev was like, "I want to be put in it, even though it's coming out in a week." And it's like, no one's that stupid. So you're putting them in these stupid situations to plug their stuff, and God, it's like WWE's version of name dropping is what I called it. It's like.
And you want to know something, though? They're going to be all over SportsCenter tomorrow with that dude's performance, LeVar, the fathers.
Yeah, they are.
A million times.
But they're not going to get, you know what? It's not going to make a difference in the ratings next week.
It never does, right?
Never does.
Yeah.
But at least they could have used that to come up with something that enhances the storyline or does something. But this was completely pointless.
It would have been good with, what's his name? They're right, Titus. I thought the same thing later on in the show. I was like, this is his gimmick. This is perfect.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of an agent kind of a deal. It's pretty cool. That'd be good for him.
Yeah. You could have had LeVar push Titus, or, because you don't need to protect Titus right now. So you could have had him get physical with Titus.
Yeah.
And then strangely, it turned into a 6-man tag with Dean Ambrose.
Well, LaMelo dropped a couple bombs on live TV. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Yeah.
The kid?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You could hear him saying he dropped the N-bomb a couple times. You say
he was laughing the whole time at how ridiculous that segment was. The kid totally broke kayfabe.
Yeah. So anyway, dropped the N-bomb a couple times. He was saying kick that person's ass.
He called him as the N-word.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So that was the highlight. No, but so it was a disaster all around.
And Booker T's just sitting there going, "See, it can happen to anyone."
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Hulk Hogan, we're coming for you.
Man, so that was something. It's strangely Dean Ambrose then comes out And then they say, "Oh, we're gonna have a 6-man tag," and then Rhino and Slater are with
Totally
Dean.
against his character for him to be wearing that
so
BBB
weird.
brand shirt
weird.
too.
Except the line, well, like a free T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
So weird. So weird.
Someone pointing
my
out that
quote?
ESPN already had that segment on.
No question. No
Yeah.
Oh
question.
yeah.
Just from him running to the ring and how he got in, I was like, oh, they're going to be at Sports Center tonight.
And him taking his shirt off and everything. I mean, it was made for it.
You know something? Do you remember when I told you guys that phrase Cornette I used to say to me when I used to want to be on TV and they didn't have nothing for me? He's like, you don't want to get any on you. This is a segment where poor Ambrose did not want to get any on him. Poor kid, man. Fuck. That's horrible. Excuse my language. Oh, that's horrible. I felt horrible for him.
Yeah.
Oh man. So the Miz, Curtis Axel, and Bo Dallas versus Ambrose, Rhino, and Slater.
We didn't get to talk about it, but I really like what they're doing with the 2 other guys, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
With Bo and
Yep. I like it a lot.
The Miz to Raj. Did they just think
It's
Misfits
something for him.
too close to Social
I keep
Misfits?
thinking I hear my name when they're saying that on TV.
Mr. Raj.
Mr. Raj.
Mr. Raj. There you go. Between that and SmackDown Raj, all those gender promos, it just must be so confusing.
Getting name dropped all over the place now.
So another 6-man tag. I thought it was a little dicey putting these segments so close to each other. Nice to see, everyone else.
What do you think is how many people do you think turned away during that match? Like, watch that Ball segment and then just turned away. I mean, I bet you there's a giant spike downwards of people turning
I don't
away.
think wrestling fans, I don't think we get pissed off enough and I don't think we get pissed enough and turn the channel.
Yeah.
I think we're all guilty of this.
Well, there is.
As fans, we're like, okay, this is horrible. How could we be watching this? We're embarrassed we're watching this. But yet, I don't turn the channel.
Well, the last few weeks, like the drop from the first hour to the third was crazy. It was like 15% or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
And not
is-
last week. Last week they did pretty well. Last week they had that Enzo casting at the end that surprisingly it held up. But the weeks before that, it was just free fall.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll talk about what's going on with Enzo and Cass in a moment. But first, I want to thank the sponsor of this episode, Mack Weldon, which, quite frankly, is better than whatever you're wearing right now. Mack Weldon believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping. And I'm telling you, it's so easy to go on their site, browse through their products. They've got socks, underwear, shorts, shirts, workout gear. Easy to find your size, easy to find your style, easy to find your color. Amazing selection of stuff. And it's the most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, and sweatpants you'll ever wear. Raj, you've been rocking the Mack Weldon. You got it on right now.
This is one of my favorite shirts. I wear this like all the time this summer. It's like it's black, but it's still light. It doesn't get too hot. It's so comfortable. And then the shorts that I got, and I mean it is really like for someone like me, like I like wearing polos and stuff, but they're always kind of itchy, and the material's not always the softest. And this just feels like nightwear. It's so comfortable. So I mean I wear it all the time, and I love it.
Yeah, they've got great stuff. The silver underwear and shirts, by the way, are naturally odor eliminating. You got that antimicrobial technology, which is great if you're working out, if you're out and about on the go, and they want you to be comfortable. So here's a great thing. If you order a pair of Mack Weldon underwear and you don't like it, you can keep it and they'll still refund you, no questions asked. Not only do their underwear, socks, and shirts look good, but they perform well, whether you're out and about, going to work, going to the gym. It's fantastic. And we've got a deal for you. You can go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off using the promo code INC. That's the promo code INC to save 20% off your first order at MackWeldon.com. You've heard us talk about it. Raj loves his stuff. I love the stuff I got. They got shorts that look like dress shorts. They feel like comfy shorts. To me, that's living the dream. MackWeldon.com. Use the promo code INC to save 20%, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast.
Ask me how I like Mack Weldon.
Oh, how you like Mack Weldon, Matt?
I don't know because nobody sends me anything.
Let's take that up with Mr. Raj Giri there.
Mr. Raj. Yeah, that's right. I need to get on that. Size XXX large.
Yeah. Mack Weldon, great stuff. So last week we saw this. What did the podcast do last week, Raj? We did some insane number on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the Raw ratings were good. And it's got to be because of Enzo and Cass and the breakup last week. I think fans were very invested in that, wanted to get the reaction. And tonight, I felt like that really got the centerpiece showcase of the night in that sweet spot. So tonight, Enzo came out, called out Cass. Cass came out, seemed like they were going to reconcile. Oh, but lo and behold, Cass beats him down on the ramp after kind of an extended period of making it seem like they were back together. So, Matt, we missed you last week on the podcast. What do you think of them breaking Enzo and Cass up and the way they're going about doing it?
It's good for Cass. Enzo's going to be a manager or something eventually. I don't know. I don't know. I know it's not good for Enzo. I think it's good for Cass. But back to what you were saying, I do not feel like the ratings are so great because of that storyline. I think Samoa Joe's is looking like a monster and a formidable opponent finally against Brock Lesnar. And it's all about, I have a feeling it's more to do with that.
And I think also basketball season was over. And so last week there was a jump.
Hell yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's an important thing that we don't think, that's huge. We don't talk about that enough. That's so important on what's going on other channels.
It is, but it seems like it affects it more now than it did before in other years. Like the drop this year, was gigantic compared to other years. And I think it's because people find it more skippable now than they did before, But yeah, it's absolutely right. I didn't think it was going to jump over 3 million in 1 week, and it did. And so that was 3 million a year ago would have been considered a crappy number, but now it's considered anything above 3 is now considered good. So
crazy.
Yeah.
No. So what do you think of this angle and the way they sort of teased already a quick reconciliation tonight, Matt?
I didn't buy it. Did you?
I thought they milked it a bit long to the point where I was like, okay, if this keeps going, maybe, but no, I thought it was going to happen.
They never show them on the ramp like that ever. That's a house show type thing that you do, and the camera was staying on them. It was obvious. I thought it was going to happen by the end of the night if it didn't happen right there. I was like, there's no way. They just made their big white meat baby face look like a dick last week to not go through with this.
Well, I thought they could, because for a minute I was like, well, they could drag it on and, have them wrestle for the tag titles and then have Big Cass turn on him again there and just beat the crap out of him. But as soon as they start going up the aisle and they stayed on him, you're like, all right, it was like that, the Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. When they stayed on him that long, you knew something was coming. So, but yeah, I thought it was well done. I thought Cass did really well. Enzo was great.
He was.
I mean, he was like an actor. I mean, you totally believe what he was saying, and you don't get a lot of that.
I did.
So it was awesome.
I believed every word he was saying.
Yeah, and it's to your point. I feel bad because he's just going to get squashed in this feud, but he did great.
And every feud, unless they do something different.
Unless they put him in the cruiserweight division or make him a manager, it's not looking good for him.
Yeah. Although I could see Enzo, I mean, of all the current roster, given his limited in-ring ability, perhaps, and his charisma, I mean, I could absolutely see him doing other stuff, whether it's a hosting gig or even doing some legitimate acting roles. I think this is going to be a launching board for him, maybe not the end destination of his career.
He's so charismatic. I just don't get. Maybe I could be wrong. I hate to be judging the kid because I'm a fan of their act, but I don't know. Like I just get. Maybe I'm wrong with this feeling, but it's just like you're so old. You're getting such a huge opportunity. How are you not in the ring for 10 hours every day? I don't give a shit how tired you are. You've got to improve. Yeah. So when you get these opportunities, nobody could take them from you again when they say, "Oh, he's not ready." Fucking no way. I got a concussion once, and Vince made me sit down on SmackDown, and it killed me because I was just about to get that opportunity. Nathan Jones just quit. I was told I was going to get a singles opportunity by myself and have me run congruent with Brock still as Brock's heater, and I suffered a concussion, and it totally derailed me at the time, man. And I cried. I was heartbroken because I was right. Like 2 or 3 weeks later, like somebody was replacing me in all my storylines, and it took me. They sent me back down to OVW, all this other shit. And my point was like I'd be in the ring. I was in the ring every day, not to show off. Like, hey, I want to look how I want it so much, But the truth is, I wanted it so much. I wanted to improve every single night, and I wanted to see me that I wanted to improve every single night in the ring before the show started, so no one could take those opportunities from me. Mm-hmm. And here's him. He's in a main event slot, basically, or potentially. I don't understand how he's not improving, like just nonstop working at his craft.
Yeah, he almost seems worse a lot of times when he's wrestling than he used to be.
And that happens when you get on the road. You get in the groove. You get tired. You start to show up to the show. You eat your catering. You go over what segments you got, especially if you do a lot of talking segments like he does.
Yeah,
he's got quite a long promos to memorize in his defense. But still, I don't give a crap. You get in that ring and you get that. You got to get better. Yeah. All that's going to be taken from you otherwise. There will be no promos.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like since day one, because, I mean, even going back to NXT, because Dusty and other people found him charismatic, they just wanted him well enough to take a beating in the ring, and then they put him out there. I don't think anything has been expected
of him. It's the old saying, you want to just make him enough. You want to teach him enough to be dangerous.
Yeah.
And won't, then there's the old adage, well, then the bell rings. You got to be a little bit more than that. You got to be able to go.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays. These guys are phenomenal on the roster nowadays. These guys are all capable of having these humongously illustrious, told out stories in the ring. These guys are such good workers nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea what they do with him from here. Him versus Cass, like, that's not a match.
Well, they're definitely going to do that.
Yeah, but that's not a real match.
Right.
Cass is going to eat him alive.
Yeah. Unless they do something stupid. I mean, Cass should eat him alive. But remember when Baron Corbin came last year, he won the Andre Battle Royal, and then right off the bat, they had him get beaten by Dolph Ziggler.
Yes.
So they do stupid stuff like that all the time, where it just kind of kills that momentum. I could almost see them like having Enzo slip on a banana peel and win, and then they have a rematch at SummerSlam where he gets destroyed.
Now that you're saying it, I could see that actually.
Yeah.
I actually physically could see that. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. So Seth Rollins versus Kurt Hawkins, with Kurt Hawkins asking the question, how many people think are expecting me to get beaten tonight?
They're wasting this guy. They could do so much more with him.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was probably like my top 3 favorite part of the night, honestly.
Yeah.
Huge pop here.
That was really good.
Yeah, he knows the drill. So all a big setup for Rollins to win, and then Bray Wyatt to come out and cut a promo talking about their match at Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, I don't think Bray Wyatt can bring himself to say Great Balls of Fire. I don't think he said it in a single promo. He just says the date. He says July the 9th. But I thought another boring promo from Bray Wyatt. I have not found one of his feuds interesting since Cena. I mean, it's been a long time.
I'll agree now. Finally, I do.
Come around. Now I need to turn you on Orton. No, but yeah, I mean, these promos, God, he needs a shake up. He needs to turn babyface or something.
Give him his brother. That's such a great storyline.
Yeah.
But his brother's in it. He's got the beard and everything.
I know. Yeah. He's got the look for it. Yeah.
Just getting interchangeable, these Bray promos. It's all the same thing.
Oh, very incredibly. What's crazy is they're very creative. Like the verbiage he uses, right? His vernacular is so impressive as far as his character is concerned. Like I'm always impressed with some of the words he uses and how he uses them. I know that sounds really ridiculous. I just said that.
No,
but seriously, I really am, because he's so in depth with his character and he gets it. So I'm always impressed by the language he uses, but it is going the same place every single time.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And you know what else hurts it is that stupid music they put on. Whenever he cuts it, it's like trying to be spooky, but it just comes across as corny as hell. So I don't know, Bray. I think he can cut a great promo if he wanted to, and his delivery is good. Just the material he has sucks, and I'd like to, because he could be so much more.
Oh my God, yeah.
I just like to see that.
Jake Roberts. Everybody says it, and every other wrestler says it.
Yeah,
and they're right. He's so talented.
Actually, getting him with the snake, doing some Pentecostal, praying with snake stuff, I think I mean, seriously, like give him something to make it a little creepy again. I mean, Jake the Snake used to really weird wrestlers out with that snake and evolving it in the match. With Bray, there's nothing creepy going on. You know?
And you know, when you hear like veterans like Jake the Snake, you know, praise Bray Wyatt, they don't watch it. They're not watching Raw every week. They watch it once in a while, and they'll see Bray Wyatt's promo. And it's really cool if you've seen it once in like 3 months.
It's amazing if you're seeing it for the first time.
Yeah, right. But when you're seeing it every week, the same thing.
You're right.
Yeah.
Got to give them something. I don't know. I'm curious how they get through the summer. Just having Bray do the same old, same old.
They'll have him get through the year doing the same old, same old. It's clear they have.
Now he doesn't even have the family anymore backing him up. Now, I mean, look, man, if you got guys with you, that's a cult. If it's just you alone, you're crazy. You know, it's like he doesn't even have disciples anymore. They've literally stripped him of the only power he had.
Yeah, people are suggesting him start a new family. I guess he could. I don't know.
Yeah, he's going to get the Miz to Raj.
This is my opinion. He was the most over. Remember when he was going, like you said, against Cena in that cage match, and the entire ring was chanting for him to beat Cena. Cena was supposed to be the babyface.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. I'm like, the kid's made. He's now a bona fide main eventer, stud. And they managed to, and then he wrestled Taker, and it was downhill from there.
Yeah.
In my opinion, as far as like, it does matter every once in a while for a talent to go over. I'm not saying he had to go over on Taker, but they just should have had stuff stacked for him after that loss where it brings them back up to that level, you know? And they never did. They never did.
You know.
And now it's worse. They have him flap his gums with these cool promos, or redundant promos, and then get beat up 2 seconds afterwards.
Yeah. It's crazy when you think back to when they had the Wyatt family and the Shield. Do you remember that when they like first faced off and the fans were going nuts? And I mean, it seemed like the almost like the Monday Night Wars, how crazy the fans were going for that. You know, like they hadn't gotten that crazy for anything in a while. And that match they had, I think it was Elimination Chamber, and people were just going insane. And
so good.
Yeah, so it could be there. They just need to. They need to shift, you know, they need to change it up.
I mean, you had the friggin', that was really good stuff, actually. You had the Shield. You really caught, you know, the lightning in a bottle. You had the Shield at their pinnacle. You had friggin' Wyatt's at their pinnacle. You know, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And the atmosphere and everything. It was awesome.
Just got to figure out a way to get these guys into a 6-man tag. You know, bring over one of the Wyatts from SmackDown. Just have it coalesce, and then 2 reunions, I think.
I no more reunions with Rowan and Harper. I think that ship has sailed. I think if
Braun, but you put Braun and Reigns, right? You got Seth and Bray. You figure out Dean. You just get one of the other guys in there, and you don't bill it as a reunion. But you
have really thought of it that way. There's 4 of them I could see. Maybe who cares? What was next?
Okay.
Yeah, we have been on this a while.
Okay, so this was cool. Paul Heyman came out, hyped Lesnar. Lesnar comes out looking pissed. Joe gets him in the coquina clutch. Like,
awesome.
Awesome.
Segment of the night. Loved it. But they tipped their hand who's going to win now.
Yeah.
Big time.
Come on. I mean, did you really think Joe, I mean, in your wildest dreams, do you think Joe was going to go over Lesnar?
I didn't think Joe was going to get this.
Yeah.
Brock sold his ass off. Brock was holding his breath the whole 9.
Yeah.
Brock sold tonight. Big time. That tells me a lot. I know Brock upside down, inside out. And when he sells for somebody, it's very rare. And it means he believes in him. So that's awesome that he believes in Joe. I love that.
Yeah.
And it made Joe, oh my God, did that make Joe tonight? But fortunately, there's I don't see Joe winning now, you know?
Well, they do have one more week.
They do?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's good. And Brock Lesnar is going to be on Raw next week again. So.
Well, let's hope Brock F5's in the hell, and then that way it's like 50-50.
Yeah, that way. Yeah. No, I agree. That'd be awesome.
No, Joe looks great though in this whole thing.
And this feud has been great. This has been the best. That and Braun and Roman on either brand, it's been the best thing this summer.
And we got Heyman going full on with selling Great Balls of Fire tonight.
Oh my God, he told. What was that? You were happy? You're being facetious, right?
Right.
No, but he was just kept saying it, and the way he was saying it, like, I mean, he really just gave in.
He broke into the song too.
Yeah.
He broke. I was gonna say, yeah. I was like, am I hearing this?
Yeah. I don't know. Heyman, I love Heyman, but lately he just comes across as too salesmanish and not organic like he used to be. And
he's going overboard to get over these other faces, and I appreciate what he's trying to do. You know,
right.
You can appreciate it, But in the long run, I don't think it helps. It hurts. It's too obvious. And it's the one thing we know about WWE fans, right? Anybody that the WWE office anoints the guy, the fans turn. It happened to poor Roman, right? So it's like, learn your lesson, guys. Don't go overboard with like with Finn. I love Finn, but when they're going overboard with how great he is and how he can, when Paul was going overboard that one time, I was like,
yeah,
you're more than you're helping him here. Stop.
Right.
Yeah. But no, I like seeing Heyman tonight. I mean, I like what the enthusiasm he brings to it.
I liked Samoa Joe earlier in the night teasing the choke on Heyman. Heyman was great there. I thought, the stuff between Joe and Heyman is great.
And can we just say one thing real quick, Raj? Yeah. Maybe you talked about it last week when I wasn't on, but how impressive is it? When's the last time you've seen somebody or the company get behind a finisher to mean so much?
Yeah.
They built that finisher to be the most badass finisher on the planet right now.
They're doing that. And you know who else they're doing that with? Is Jinder. Like his finisher, no one has kicked out of it. Yeah, no one has kicked out of it. He beat Shinsuke Nakamura at a house show. Granted, it's a house show, but he's been beating he beat Orton twice. No one kicks out of it. They don't do any false finishes.
Are they talking about it, though? Are they putting it over like Coquina Clutch? They're saying everybody, they're having like Finn Balor talk about it. They're saying anybody, if he gets that on you, you're done.
Yeah, no, they haven't been building it that strong. No. But no one's kicking out of it.
Not to borrow, not to keep going back to Jake, but another great example was that DDT.
Yeah.
They talked about that. If you hit the DDT, that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
And many other finishers, for that matter, back in the day. I love that. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, look, with Joe, this is the best program Brock's been in ages. I mean, this is interesting as hell. This beats the crap out of Goldberg coming out there and talking for half an hour.
It's going to be so physical. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's why I wish it wasn't a one and done. Like they would keep it going, and maybe maybe they see the rating last week. If they do another big rating tonight, maybe they feel like it's something they could keep going till SummerSlam, and they change their plans a little.
Yeah, see what it does.
Yeah.
So Dorado versus Neville tonight.
I was excited about this at the beginning when I heard it was Dorado.
Yeah.
But all that other crap got involved, and I don't know. I shouldn't say anything because I bitched and moaned that they didn't do enough storytelling with the cruiserweights to give them character. They did that tonight. I may not have liked it how they did it, but they're trying.
The problem is the storytelling is hokey storytelling. It's all campy stuff.
Campy,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
It's not serious stuff like they were doing with Aries and Neville. It's like they wouldn't put a top guy not in the cruiserweight division in this Titus O'Neil storyline, but they're putting the top contender in there. So it's just as soon as the ropes turn purple, it's like, have you seen that Simpsons where his brain is like, you can stay, but I'm leaving, and just pops out of his head? It's kind of like what happens with me now when the ropes go purple. Cause I know they don't take it seriously. Nothing big is going to happen.
Yeah. It's either Rich and Sasha doing the electric slide, or, we get the Titus brand, and then, I don't know, and we get Neville looking really angry.
It sucks because there's so much you could do with that, with a cruiserweight division. Yeah. But they're just having them wrestle like everybody else, and except with worse storylines and smaller physiques.
Yeah, not much more to add to that. Okay, so... nice promo. Alexa Bliss kind of going a little facey there in that promo with Nia Jax tonight, I thought.
Well, no, she was clearly trying to manipulate her.
Reeling her in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I thought it came across very sincere, and if they ever do an Alexa face turn, I'm fully on board for that. But let's talk the Gauntlet match. Bayley versus Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax versus Emma versus Dana Brooke versus Mickie James. And what do you think? What do you think about it coming down to Nia versus Sasha and Sasha going over at the end?
I was wondering why it was going on dead last like that tonight. I was like, they're banking on these women an awful lot. I mean, which is good for the women's division, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't feel they were in. I don't feel other than Bliss, I didn't feel any of them are good enough to anchor the main event. Not because they're not talented enough, but because they've been put on TV lately, right?
Yeah.
The storylines are, like there's so many other storylines. Roman coming back maybe, or something they could have put in that slot, right? Something's got to give here, and it did. They told a great story at the very end, I felt, with Nia tapping out finally. She was very, very unstoppable. But then, little baby face, the legend that kept going, right? But she did a phenomenal job, she being the boss. And again, I like the matchup. I like her versus Bliss. They're similar size. They're both tremendous workers. It's going to be a great match.
And they're kind of opposite personalities too. So you have that. And so I agree. I think it's great. I just think I'd rather they have that for SummerSlam, like a bigger event, as opposed to in just 2 weeks. I don't know. I just think that's their biggest match right now in that division. So, but I thought this match was great, and I agree with you. When I heard that was the main event, I was like, there's got to be a swerve, because I don't think that's, with how it's been pushed lately, that's strong enough for the main event. But man, if people didn't change the channel and stuck with it, and they probably did. I think it was a really good match, and I thought Sasha and Nia, I thought that was the best that Nia's looked since being on.
She did. She sat on her face with one of those elbow. She threw an elbow drop and sat on her face somehow. Go back and watch it. She dropped her ass on her. I couldn't believe she didn't get hurt.
She dropped her ass on Sasha's face?
Watch an elbow drop is one of the times she threw her out right before she threw her out of the ring for the 50th time. That was getting annoying. She wasn't getting any heat behind it. She doesn't even understand how to get the heat it takes when you throw somebody out of the ring and you're that big and that unstoppable. That's called chicken shit heat, right? Mm-hmm. That's someone that size shouldn't need to do that. That's the heat, right? They should be able to just pin them 1, 2, 3, but she's being, kind of a chicken shit heel by throwing her out of the ring and making the count start, right? Mm-hmm. And the fans are supposed to boo. She doesn't even know how to garner that heat from the live crowd or the TV viewers at home. She just throws her out of the ring and then walks around in circles.
Yeah.
It's like, there's nothing heelish about that. There's nothing chicken shittish about it. And safety wise, again, I'm telling you, watch it. It was like the second to last time she threw her out of the ring. Watch the move right before that. And it was an elbow drop. And I'm telling you, she sat right on her face. It's either that or a fat lat hit her face. But her body was on her face, no question.
Jeez.
You could see Boss talking to her as well right before she threw her out of the ring. Seriously, she's getting better, but I don't know. And I don't know what necessarily it helps her out, the Boss, but I don't understand. You're trying to build Nia Jax, and you had a tap tonight.
Yeah. They've done that a couple times. So yeah, I don't know. I think having her go 30 minutes was kind of a shock.
Yes. God, that's what I'm talking about. You can't do that you got to protect these people. Man, yes.
Yeah. But
it's not her fault.
Right, yeah. And interesting too, Bayley, it looked like they were starting to give her a little steam again last week, and then she's the first one out.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. Although I think now for SummerSlam, my guess is Fatal 4-Way, maybe with Bayley, Alexa, Sasha, and Nia.
I guess.
Wait, what?
This is my guess, speculating how they do these things.
Yeah.
For the Raw Women's title.
They just keep throwing all the multiple women's matches, so yeah, I agree. But I'd personally like to see Alexa and Sasha one-on-one, and maybe have Alexa, get beat by count out or something. I usually hate those finishes, but if you do it, not have her walk away, but actually get beat by count out, and then you could do the rematch at SummerSlam and maybe have a stip like a steel cage or something, and then
yes, those two are good enough. Absolutely.
Yeah, they could pull it off.
Yes, they could.
I'm looking forward to the Great Balls of Fire match. I think it'll be good. I thought it was great tonight compared to, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Or no, last week, didn't they do the women late in the show, and it was sort of just thrown in there? Tonight, I thought was a nice showcase. Yeah, if people stuck around, I think that was a hell of a match. And a lot of the girls got a nice showcase. Even Dana Brooke, who was in there for a hot minute, she at least got to do a couple things that looked good, in the ring, I thought.
Yeah.
So
she was in there for like 30 seconds. I mean,
yeah, but it
would have been bad if she messed that up.
Yeah. Wasn't that Chris on the Wrestling Inc. Twitter tonight? Dana Brooke versus Nia, strap in, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it turned out great. So all in all, sort of your final thoughts on tonight's Raw, Matt?
That ball segment really screwed things up for me, man. I'm telling you, we're going to look back on this as a top 10 worst Raw moment in history.
Wow.
That's how bad I thought that segment was. It was horrible. The kid was laughing. He was like, "Get him, kid, get him, son. Take care of my light work."
You thought it
he
was
gets up and starts laughing, totally breaking kayfabe.
You're forgetting, man, Matt. There's been some bad stuff on Raw just this year. The "This Is Your Life" segment with Alexa Bliss,
or the "This Is Your Life" segment with Alexa Bliss.
I think this is worse. Alexa Bliss has just carried on longer. This I still feel was way worse. Go back and please watch him. That we come out to the ring, maybe because I know I know them coming into this, you know, and I hate him. So maybe that's something to do with it.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah,
Okay,
it was cringeworthy. I agree.
Beyond cringe. Yeah, it was horrible. It was so cringeworthy. I was rewinding it, how bad this was, and going, how could they got this so wrong? How did they not know this man's? Honestly, one of the most hated men in America. We hate this guy. Sports fans, NBA fans, we hate him with such a passion.
Yeah.
God, he's bad. Anyways, I give him a. Pretend that segment didn't happen at all. This show was a strong B+, very strong B+.
Yeah, I because that segment did happen, I'm gonna have to go B-, but because I thought the rest of the show was good enough that it brought it up from the C level. But the Enzo cast stuff was great. Lesnar was great.
Oh, yeah.
The main event was great. So it's a lot of good on the show, and not much bad outside of the Miz TV segment. So
a little bit of the cruiserweight thing, yeah.
Yeah, the cruiserweight was kind of a waste, and then the Dean Ambrose, the 6-man tag, that was a waste too. But
puzzling waste. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about quickly some of the other stuff happening in wrestling this week. Chris Jericho, what's going on with the live event? He's working in Japan, Raj.
Yeah, so it's kind of like when he would come back and just work live events here and there. So he's working this weekend's live events in Tokyo, and I believe it's Singapore. And I forget if they're going to Hawaii, but definitely. So yeah, Tokyo, and yeah, he's facing Hideo Itami at one of the shows.
Very cool. Good. Such a good dude, man.
Yeah, and he loves working those Japan shows. So yeah, he's working these Raw shows. So yeah, it's very cool. Also, Cody Rhodes. It feels like a lot has happened since we had Tony Schiavone on the podcast last week.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes won the ROH World Championship, which I don't know. What do you think, Matt?
I think congratulations, Cody. I think him with the Young Bucks. Like, I've been watching all their episodes on YouTube of the Elite. Funny as hell show. I love that show, and I love those two guys. Kenny Omega too. I think, believe it or not, even though he's the WWE superstar, I think he's the one getting the cool rub from those guys. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because the Young Bucks are kind of, I wouldn't say they're cool. They're like
I would think they're funny as shit.
They're funny
as crap, and they're over like Rover.
Right, but they're kind of like the funny guys that would hang out with the cool guy in high school, right? You know what I mean?
But for the internet wrestling community, that's
right.
Exactly what they're looking for.
I'm not calling them The Rock.
Right, that's kind of what I mean.
I mean, no wrestler's really cool other than The Rock to that kind of level. Okay, great. But I'm talking about they're more over than Cody.
Yes, yeah. For sure. I'm not saying overwise. I'm just saying their character. They don't come across
a show on YouTube that everybody watches.
They're not
entertaining, and they're not cool. If people consider them cool, they think they're funny. That's what I see. But
okay. It's like
the point of the story is quit arguing with me over every detail. The point of it is this, Raj, is that it's rare because Cody's a former WWE superstar, a very big superstar, with a huge pushes in that company, right? Super over, and he's ironically getting, in my opinion, more of a rub from Kenny and those two than vice versa, if that makes sense. And I think him as champion's going to help him. I think he's going to figure out some new layers to who he is as a man and as a performer with this. I think this is the best thing for his career, honestly. And
he's wrestling Okada for the new, IWGP Championship. He wins that. There's an automatic Kenny Omega feud in there. And I was on a media call with Kenny Omega today, and they were hinting at it a bit. So
he's got to change some things up. Cody's worked a certain style now for so long. I'm hoping he can change it up a little. Not that I have any problem with the way he works. I love the work Cody. Me heel him as a face, of course. I would love to work him in that environment. But he needs to change something. I don't know what it is, and I'm seeing it more and more when I watch something as simple as I'm telling you the elite YouTube shows.
Yeah,
I'm seeing it a little bit more and more. He's relaxing a little bit more, and he's a pretty funny dude. And he's money in the ring. I think it's a great thing. Yeah.
And he says he makes more money now than he did when he was in WWE, and I believe it.
For now, he does, but like I've told you guys, after about a year or two, unless you're getting consistent bookings in Japan, like I made money hand over fist when I was working for New Japan and All Japan and Hustle for about a 2-year stint there. I went between WWE and TNA.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely made more money, but I was consistently going there. Every month I was in Japan. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of travel. But you can make more money. And if he's going to Japan every month, I believe it.
Yeah.
Because I have a hard time believing Cody was not getting paid big time money for some of his WrestleMania matches, like versus Rey Mysterio. I guarantee you he made like $60K.
I'm guessing he means by the end. You know, like when he was just Stardust and just wrestling in the Battle Royals and stuff like that.
Yeah. Which is a friggin' abortion of the business. They had that kid doing that to begin with.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, man.
I know.
So I'm happy for him. I really am. I think it's good for him.
Yeah.
So Daniel Bryan tweeted out a little something in regards to Cody winning the championship. That what was it? If he holds it for about 400 days, maybe Daniel will challenge him for it.
And he wrote trolling for life, but he did in an interview last week say he's gonna wrestle again. So it's looking like that's he's got his mindset that when his contract is up, he's gonna wrestle again. And I think a lot of people expect that. Now, a year is a long time. He just had a daughter. I'm not sure, going to Japan with a 1-year-old. If he signed with New Japan, what's that?
It's not a very attractive deal.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So a lot can change, but it's sounding like he definitely wants to get back in there.
Why wouldn't it be WWE?
WWE won't allow it. They have their doctor, Dr. Maroon. He had the concussion, and they did those X-rays, and I guess they found some lesions. And I don't know if those go away or what happens.
That's what I was gonna say. Supposing he is okay though, and he is cleared, can't he go back to that doctor and say, "Hey, can you check me now?" And then they check him, and then something's changed.
Apparently, that doctor will not allow it. So it's Dr. Maroon, who was he was featured in that concussion movie, and he got a really bad rap because in that concussion movie, it looked like he didn't care about athlete safety. So there's a belief that he's like overly cautious now, even though Daniel Bryan has been cleared from other doctors.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's in a weird spot where.
Yeah, it's quite the conundrum. You're right.
Yeah, and so. I don't know. It's would WWE just allow him to go and go to New Japan or ROH in a year, or do they even care? ROH in New Japan, are they even on their radar? Will they be in a year? New Japan's expanding in the U.S. this year. Their LA shows sold out fast. So,
are you asking would they be interested in Daniel Bryan?
No. I'm saying would WWE change their tune on Daniel Bryan before allowing him to go to New Japan or ROH?
They would have. There's no way they're going to lose what they put behind that kid, and that's what's going to happen if he goes to another company.
Yeah.
That's the way they see it. It's not the truth, but that's how they see it. They'll see all this stuff that they did for him with the push and finally give the fans what they want. They love him they love him on talk as a GM. They love him as the SmackDown Live talk show afterwards.
Yeah, the Talking Smack. It's a huge difference with him on there.
Big difference, huge. You're right. He treats it real, and I freaking appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they'll figure out a way to keep him. I mean, it's a complicated situation, but given all these stories about the 10-year anniversary of Chris Benoit, I think it's on people's minds.
I did not even know that, so it ain't on my mind. How about that?
The story is everywhere. I'm seeing this week popping up in my feed. So I don't know. I mean, it's
got to be more than 10 years. Hang on, it's got to be more than 10 years because I went through. I could have sworn I put myself through detox. I got sober 10 years ago when Benoit. We had a TV in there, and I could have sworn that was when the Benoit thing happened. Maybe a month or two after.
June
March,
24th.
April, June.
Yeah, it's 2007.
It was
2007.
a couple months after I got out. Yep, I did it in March.
Yeah. That's a weird story. Like reliving that week. Like,
remember?
What's that?
You remember, guys? It was everywhere.
Oh gosh, I mean, I'm just on the site, just constantly updating and this, the reports that were coming in, and at first not knowing what happened and thinking it might be a gas leak, or like you're assuming all this other stuff at first,
right? There's no way that. Yeah.
Right, and then like during Raw, while Raw was happening, while they had the Chris Benoit tribute show, that it started coming in and what happened. And just such a surreal, crazy, insane story that you hope to never see, and hopefully nothing like that we'll see again. Knock on wood. But yeah, 10 years. That's wild.
But it's still on people's minds. I mean, absolutely horrible tragedy. And I think the Daniel Bryan thing, the WWE is just in a bad situation with this. And it's tough.
But they've been very public. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe because I want to see him wrestle again, I'm saying this. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think they've been very public about Daniel. I think they've been on top of it, like flies on what. Yeah. With his safety being first. They talked about it on Divas. They talked about it on other shows. They talked about it a lot ad nauseum, in a good way. So I think like they've definitely covered their asses at this point. I can't think of another athlete they've covered their asses more with, as far as talking about somebody not being, cleared to wrestle, and this is just how it has to be, and then finally, if he does get cleared, and this maroon guy does say, okay, I don't see anything wrong with that, especially, he's seeing all the top specialists, and it's not an exact science. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
Like there's people out there that are told they can't wrestle again, when in reality, they probably still could, but unfortunately the person they saw said no.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all opinion. That's the weird thing with so much of this,
Crazy.
You assume doctors know everything, but I'm
gonna tell you this real quick. I work with doctors every day, and you'll be shocked that these people are responsible for surgeries and what they're brain surgeries and what they're responsible for, because they have their degrees and they are obviously a certain level of intelligence. Let's be honest, but there's a certain quotient where they're not.
Yeah.
Where they're not all that smart, and they make so many guesses. At least in my industry, what I see with plastic surgeons are. Maybe it's different. I'm sure it's different with brain surgeons, obviously. We assume. But I assume the same thing for plastic surgeons as well.
Yeah.
We're talking about people ripping up people's faces here. Okay? And someone taking fat in and out of people's stomachs. And that's kind of a big deal. And you assume you're dealing with the smartest people on the planet. And I swear to you, you're not. It's always like the doctor. It's always like the nurse right below them that runs the shit.
Yeah.
And the doctor's just the front man. So like you have all these people giving these opinions, right? And it's just like you said, Raj, it's just one man's opinion, and it could totally take someone's career away from them.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate Daniel came out and gave that speech, about realizing the risk and it's not worth it, and went on and on and on.
Well, no, I think that's what I mean by covering their ass publicly. I think that's a kind of a good thing, though, because it shows that he went above and beyond to get tested again and again and again and again, more than the next athlete. A lot of athletes would just stop after a while.
I mean, he would just have to completely change his style, I think. I mean, it's not like someone that he doesn't go out there, put guys in a bunch of holds, and that's the way he's doing. I mean, he's doing moves. He's taking bumps.
He just needs to take out the dive. There's no reason anymore. Everyone else does the damn thing.
Yeah.
The tope through the ropes. I mean, but here's the thing. Kevin Nash once told me this, I think, or maybe it was a doctor. Every time we take a bump in the ring, it's like being rear-ended at a stoplight, being hit by 30 mile an hour, a 30 mile an hour car. Every time we snap bump on that ring, that's what it's like, the whiplash creation, our brain swishing around in our head.
Yeah. Right?
So unless you're not going to bump, which is impossible, we're all going to be at risk. Yeah. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Well, I would say our last story of the night about stranger things happening, Mauro Ranallo is coming to NXT.
I like it.
He's there already. He called the last set of TV taping. So, yeah, he left in April. He's back 2 months later. I mean, it's clear what happened, and they found a spot for him. He's not working, with JBL or the front office, and so he gets to commentate WWE. It's crazy. He's calling the show that's not on cable television, and he's calling the Mayweather McGregor fight. You know, it's
I didn't know he was calling the fight. Wow.
Oh yeah, he's calling that fight. He just signed with Bellator. He called their last pay-per-view. So yeah, with WWE, he's working the show that's not on TV. But you know, it's a great get for NXT, obviously, and it.
Huge.
Oh yeah, they needed it. Something has been missing since Corey left.
Yeah, and
they need to get rid of what's his name. He's horrible.
Who? Percy Watson.
Yeah, whose cousin is he?
David Otunga's. No.
He's
How's he?
Yeah, he's
whatever.
Yeah, he's bad. It's too bad. Corey Graves is a great find that they've had, but yeah. So this is a huge, great replacement.
Yeah. So I know it's good to see Mauro back. Lastly, before we wrap, I'm curious, did you guys watch Glow over the weekend?
Yes, I didn't like
Interesting.
it. My wife loved it. Glow fan. I was a huge Glow mark as a kid. I don't know. I thought the acting was horrible. I thought the wrestlers were the best. I thought the wrestlers did awesome.
I've only seen the pilot, but I thought the pilot was great. I actually really liked it. I was surprised that I liked it.
The problem with this, and this is what I kept telling my wife, the main actress, she's rotten. She's rotten.
I thought she was really good. She was from Mad Men.
Horrible.
Yeah,
she's
Community.
Uncomfortable. She makes you very uncomfortable.
Well, she's supposed to. I mean,
scenarios.
Yeah, she's not.
Right. I know what you're gonna say,
yeah.
But there comes a point where it becomes too uncomfortable, and it's just like, ugh, she's annoying.
It's kind of like, well, that's kind of the same thing with Orange Is the New Black. I mean, the main character of Orange Is the New Black is like the worst character on the entire show, and I think with
that's
Glow,
what they were comparing it to. And because I have a lot of friends on that show, I hope it friggin' takes off like it.
Yeah.
You know. But I thought Tyrus, I thought Carlito did really good. Joey Ryan killed it. Johnny Nitro's my boy didn't kill it so much.
He has the most movie experience of all those guys.
Really an acting spot, really. He was just being a straightforward character, showing him how to do some moves. I'll tell you right now, Kia's finally going to get her just due because that
he was
woman
great.
Is so charismatic. It's not even
fantastic.
Funny. I used to work with her in Hustle, and she had to play this ridiculous character where she'd come out to the ring she was like a flower, basically. That was her gimmick. You have to watch it. Look up Matt Morgan versus I don't know what her Japanese name was over there, but Kia Stevens Hustle, and it's some funny stuff. We used to have mixed tags with her, and she's eating the carbon footprint a bunch over there. Tough broad. Great wrestler, but dude, her charisma is just through the roof. It's not just Killer Kong that she can do. She can do the whole opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to acting. She's gonna. I hope she hits it big. I hope she becomes like one of those people that they grab off that show and bring on Orange Is the New Black. You know, that'd be awesome.
So, how many episodes have you seen, Matt?
We watched the whole season, unfortunately.
Oh wow!
Wait, you watched the whole thing? Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I mean, we couldn't stop watching. We thought it was great. I thought Mark Mayron
watched it over the weekend. Yeah,
I thought Mark Mayron was fantastic.
Mark Maron?
Yeah.
Mayron.
Who?
Mayron, sorry.
Who was the big tall guy who's taller than Tyrus? Who is that? Was that an actor?
Wait. Oh, I'm not sure who that was. I should look that up.
He's humongous.
Yeah. He's a big guy. He's been in some other stuff. He looks like one of those guys that's been around forever. But no, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I thought the progression was good. I mean, it's going to get renewed. It's definitely going to get renewed. So we'll see where they go from here with it.
For everybody's sake, I hope it does. I hope they get rid of that damn main actress.
It's gotten great reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It's at like 96%.
Good.
So
good.
But I'm surprised seeing everyone that covers wrestling seems to really like it. So I think that they're getting, except for Matt Morgan.
Exactly.
Who finds
his wife liked it.
Unbearable, but his wife liked it. Yeah. But no, I think it respects the business. I think that was people's main fear, was that it was going to be something that came in and was going to be like, that Fox special Secrets of Wrestling revealed or some crap like that.
Or like Ready to Rumble, where they make fun of like the wrestling fans and the wrestlers are all broke and living in trailers and stuff. God, that was god awful. Anyway.
Yeah, and I like that the story's making the rounds now. They found in the opening credits of the first episode some of that neon tracing they did. One was the Bailey Sasha match from one of the takeovers. It's literally
Wait, what?
So
say it again.
In the opening credits, you know how they had all that neon, the neon of the women doing the wrestling moves. So one of those, okay, so one of the sequences in the very opening episode people found online, it is literally, they took a clip from TakeOver of Bayley and Sasha, traced over it with the neon. And it's that frame by frame exactly. So now people are really diving into where some of the inspirations came from.
WWE is going to be contacting Netflix.
Yeah.
Good Lord, people, find something to do with your time.
Yeah. And there was that little, people thought, intentional inside joke against Bayley when they were talking about one of the wrestlers. So what's her gimmick? She hugs people, you know?
Oh, they said, I'm only one episode in, so I'm going to.
Yeah. Oh, Raj, you know, it's very easily bingeable at a half an hour an episode.
All right. Well, now that Better Call Saul's done, we got time before Game of Thrones, so I'll check it out.
Ooh, it's going to be a short season, by the way. That sucks.
Yeah. It's like 7 episodes or something like that.
Something like that,
yeah. We digress.
But still, I'll take it.
Yeah, we should do a Game of Thrones podcast.
Yeah.
Dude, please. My favorite show. Love that show.
It's awesome.
Yeah. If Raw gets bad enough, like I said, we'll just start talking about other stuff we're watching on TV. Be more entertaining. Cool, guys.
Draw a bigger number.
Yeah. So, Matt, anything you want to plug before we take it home here?
MuscleSportMag.com. They're sponsoring me in my August 19th men's. I'm doing 2 divisions for bodybuilding. I'm doing classic physique as well as just normal general physique divisions. Normally I do normal physique. We wear the board shorts, but now I built my legs up over this whole year to where I'll be wearing, different, trunks up on stage, and you have to flex your leg muscles. Basically, it's the big difference. It's more like bodybuilding. So I'm stepping up for that and doing 2 different divisions, and they're covering the cost for it. They're my sponsor. So every day check out my Instagram page. I'm asked to do a video blog every single morning of what I'm doing to work out, as well as every night what I'm doing in the gym to work out to get my ass ready for this show.
Nice.
And then they string them all together over at MuscleSportMag.com at the end once my show's completed. And it'll be like a 2-hour thing where it shows everything I did every day along the way, what I did to train, eat, and the shit that pops up in my life in the middle of it while I'm working a 9 to 5, while I'm wrestling at Impact, while I'm doing all these different things while getting ready, which is like suicidal. When you're getting ready for a show, you don't do anything. You sit at home all day and you eat all your meals. You get to the gym, you do your fasted cardio in the morning first, eat all your meals, go to the gym at night. That's what people that I'm competing against are doing. None of them are working at 9 to 5. Very, very rare are they. And I damn sure guarantee none of them are wrestling. While, being a dad to a 3-year-old crazy man in there.
I don't know how you keep it up, man. Hardest working guy in the biz. And you find the time to do this podcast. So we appreciate that.
It's catching up, man.
Yeah.
Hey, what does BP stand for anyway? I've never asked you that in your Twitter handle.
Really?
Jeez. You know what? I knew that. I knew that in the past, and I forgot.
Gas station. It's a wink that I'm on all this type of gas now. It's the blueprint. That's what JBL used to say to me back in the day. He used to call me and Nathan Jones. He used to call him Hess and me BP. Gas station. I'm like, dude doesn't even get it. I'm not even on anything, but whatever. I'll take it as a compliment.
Nice, man. So check that out. BP Matt Morgan on Instagram. You can find him online everywhere. Raj, lots of stuff coming up on the site this week. Stories.
Yeah, tons of stuff from the conference calls with Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, the rest of my interview with Tama Tonga. Yeah, tons of stuff. Josh Barnett, Jim Ross. So it's a busy week. The New Japan's got their LA shows this weekend. They got tons of stuff. Slammiversaries this Sunday. We're going to be covering it on Wrestling Inc. So check it out. It's busy week. And we'll be back here Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern to talk about SmackDown Live tomorrow night. Naomi versus Lana, the rematch. Women's Money in the Bank, the redo. Baron Corbin versus Sami Zayn. The Hype Bros fighting for the #1 contendership in the tag teams. Surprisingly, a lot going on for SmackDown tomorrow night. So we'll be here to talk about that on Wednesday. Until next time, folks, on behalf of myself, Mr. Matt Morgan, and Mr. Raj Giri, I'm Glenn Rubenstein, and we'll see you back here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.